Let me ask you this. What happens when an MMA legend steps into a boxing ring against a world champion and refuses to play by the rules? You're about to see one of the wildest fights of the year. A fight that didn't just end in disqualification, but in an all-out riot. And here's the craziest part. The man who caused the chaos ended up flat on the floor himself. And what's even more shocking, the one who knocked him out wasn't even his opponent. Stay tuned, because this is the kind of fight story that reminds us why combat sports are never predictable. On September 27, 2025, in Brazil, fans packed the arena for what they thought would be just another boxing match. But this fight would be remembered for something else entirely. Scandal, rage, and an ending nobody could have guessed. In one corner was Wanderlei Silva, the axe murderer. Known for his wild aggression in Pride and the UFC. He had 51 professional MMA fights, 27 knockouts, and once ruled Pride like a king. In the other corner, Acelino Popó Freitas, a boxing hero in Brazil. A two-division world champion with 41 wins, only 2 losses, and 34 knockouts. He was smaller, older, retired since 2007, but when he accepted this fight on short notice, fans couldn't believe it. At the weigh-in, the size difference was shocking. Freitas came in at 72 kilograms, about 158 pounds. Silva, a whopping 93.8 kilograms, over 200 pounds, nearly a 40-pound gap. And yet, Silva wasn't calm. Before the fight, he said, "Freitas isn't confident. He's worried, and he should be, because I'm going to knock him out. People underestimate me, but I'll prove them wrong. I'll show the best fight of the night." Sounds convincing, right? But the truth would play out very differently. Round 1. The storm begins. The bell rang. Silva, much bigger, charged forward like a bull. He swung hard, but Freitas met him with sharp punches right on the chin. Silva tried to grab and clinch, using his size to lean on the boxer. Here's the thing. Silva's camp had been upset. Freitas' team forced a same-day weigh-in with a cap at 98 kilograms. Even then, Silva came in huge. He thought his weight and power would crush Freitas. But from the start, it was clear. Emphasize, Freitas' boxing skill was levels above. He moved fast, used feints, and kept landing clean punches. Silva took them only because of his size. But you could see it already. This was not going to be the fight Silva imagined. Round 2. The cracks show. The second round began. Silva rushed in again, wild, sloppy. He even slipped, grabbed Freitas' legs like an MMA fight, and had to be reset by the referee. Freitas kept countering, sharp and calm. His punches were crisp, his movement was smooth. And here's the crazy part. Silva was already gasping for air. The man with the full training camp was exhausted, while the 50-year-old boxer on short notice looked fresh. The crowd started buzzing. Could the old champ actually embarrass the MMA legend? Round 3. Desperation. By the third round, Silva was in trouble. He couldn't keep up with the pace. Every time he tried to throw, Freitas made him miss and made him pay. So Silva switched to something else. Dirty tactics. First, he clinched and snuck in a headbutt. The referee stopped the fight, warned him, and gave Freitas time to recover. Later in the round, Silva shoved Freitas to the ground and raised his arms as if he'd scored a knockdown. The ref waved it off. No knockdown, just a push. And then at the bell, the two went toe-to-toe in a wild exchange. For a moment, it looked like Silva might drag Freitas into his kind of fight. But once again, the boxing skill of Freitas shined through. Even at 50, he was sharp, fast, fearless. The crowd was on fire. Could Freitas actually stop the bigger man? Or would Silva's aggression finally break through?
Round 4, the breaking point. The fourth round began with Silva throwing everything he had left. He charged forward, trying to land the knockout shot he promised. But once again, when the punches missed, he went back to his dirty tricks. Another headbutt. This time, the referee had had enough. He took a point away. But Silva didn't care. He kept it up. And then, the fight was over. Wanderlei Silva was disqualified. But if you thought that was the end of the chaos, think again. The riot. As soon as the fight ended, tempers exploded. Both teams stormed the ring. Fists and kicks were flying everywhere. The scene turned into pure madness, a riot right there in front of thousands of fans. And here's the shocking part. In the middle of the chaos, Wanderlei Silva himself got caught with a massive right hand. He went down, knocked out cold. The man who had promised a knockout, who had tried every dirty trick in the book, ended up unconscious on the canvas. And not from his opponent, but from the brawl after the fight. Security rushed in. Coaches dragged Silva to the corner while punches kept flying. The crowd went wild. They had come for a fight, and they got a war. Some fans called it justice. Silva had fouled, headbutted, shoved, tried to bully the smaller man. In the end, the chaos turned on him. Freitas, on the other hand, showed skill, heart, dignity. He fought clean, smart, sharp, and even though the fight ended in scandal, he came out looking like the real champion. For Wanderlei Silva, it was a dark night. Not only did he lose the fight, but he lost face. The image of him lying on the floor while chaos erupted will live on. Now, let me ask you, is this still boxing? Or is this the kind of circus that hurts the sport? One thing's for sure, fans will remember it. Some will call it the biggest scandal of the year. Others will say it was entertainment worth every penny. Think this was brutal? Wait until you see the next knockouts from Tyson and Butterbean. They'll leave you shaking your head in disbelief. Click and watch, and there's even more waiting in the comments.